The Knights Templar emerged during a time of great religious fervor. It was the early 12th century. The First Crusade had just ended. Christian armies had captured Jerusalem in 1099. Pilgrims flocked to the Holy Land. However, the journey was fraught with danger. Bandits and raiders preyed on these faithful travelers. In 1119, a French knight named Hugues de Payens saw an opportunity. He gathered 8 fellow knights. Their mission was simple: protect Christian pilgrims traveling to Jerusalem. They took vows of poverty, chastity, and obedience. They pledged themselves to the service of God. Thus, the Knights Templar were born. King Baldwin II of Jerusalem granted the knights a headquarters. It was on the site of the ancient Temple of Solomon. From this they took their name, the Poor Fellow Soldiers of Christ and of the Temple of Solomon, or Knights Templar for short. Their emblem became a powerful symbol: 2 knights riding a single horse representing their initial poverty. The Knights Templar were more than just protectors. They represented the militant arm of Christianity. They were warriors sworn to defend the faith. Their emergence marked a turning point in the history of the Crusades. The Knights Templar quickly gained recognition for their bravery and discipline. They were not simply soldiers, they were monks who fought. They lived by a strict code of conduct. Their lives were dedicated to prayer and warfare in equal measure. Their early successes in protecting pilgrims attracted support. Donations poured in from across Europe. Nobles and commoners alike recognized the importance of their mission. The Templars grew in number and strength. Pope Honorius II officially endorsed the Knights Templar in 1129. This papal backing gave them immense power and influence. They were granted exemptions from taxes. They answered only to the Pope, not to any king or lord. This freedom allowed them to operate independently and amass wealth. The Templars' influence extended beyond the battlefield. They became skilled administrators and financiers. They established a sophisticated network of commanderies across Europe. These commanderies served as administrative centers and financial hubs. They managed the order's growing wealth and resources. The Knights Templar played a crucial role in the Crusades. They were the elite fighting force of Christendom. They participated in numerous battles and sieges. Their military prowess became legendary. They were known for their heavy cavalry charges. These charges often broke enemy lines. One notable example of their bravery was the siege of Damascus in 1148. The Templars fought alongside King Louis VII of France. Despite the eventual Crusader defeat, the Templars earned respect for their valor. They fought fiercely, even in retreat, protecting the fleeing Crusader army. However, the Templars' story was not without its dark side. They participated in the sacking of Jerusalem in 1099. This event saw the massacre of countless Muslim and Jewish inhabitants. While common during medieval warfare, this brutality contrasted sharply with their vows. The Templars were also involved in other controversial episodes. They fought in the Reconquista, the Christian reconquest of Spain. They participated in the Albigensian Crusade, a brutal campaign against the Cathar heresy in France. These events tarnished their image, particularly in the eyes of their enemies. The Knights Templar became incredibly wealthy and powerful over time. Their military successes earned them land grants and other rewards. They became major landowners in Europe and the Holy Land. They controlled strategic castles, ports, and trade routes. Their financial acumen further increased their wealth. They established the first international banking system. They offered loans to kings and nobles. They provided safe passage for pilgrims traveling with valuables. Their financial activities made them indispensable to many rulers. This wealth and power did not go unnoticed. Kings and nobles grew envious of the Templars' independence. Some questioned their motives. Rumors spread about their secret rituals and alleged heresy. The Templars' secrecy only fueled these suspicions. Despite the growing suspicion, the Knights Templar remained a powerful force for over 2 centuries. They continued to fight in the Holy Land. They defended their remaining strongholds against increasing Muslim pressure. However, their days were numbered. Their enemies were closing in. By the late 13th century, the tide had turned against the Crusaders. The Muslim forces under leaders like Saladin were resurgent. The Crusader states in the Levant were, crumbling. The Knights Templar faced mounting losses. In 1291, the city of Acre, the last major Crusader stronghold, fell to the Mamluks of Egypt. The Knights Templar, along with other Crusader orders, were forced to evacuate. They retreated to Cyprus, their influence in the Holy Land, shattered. The loss of the Holy Land dealt a severe blow to the Templars' prestige. Their original mission, to protect pilgrims in Jerusalem, was now obsolete. Their continued existence came under scrutiny. Their vast wealth and independence made them a target. Among their most powerful enemies was King Philip IV of France. Philip was deeply in debt to the Templars. He coveted their wealth. He also saw them as a threat to his authority. He resolved to destroy them. In the year 1307, King Philip IV made his move. He accused the Knights Templar of heresy, blasphemy, and immorality. He used these charges to justify a brutal crackdown. On Friday, October 13th, 1307, hundreds of Templars were arrested across France. The Templars were subjected to torture and coercion. They were forced to confess to a litany of fabricated crimes. These included denying Christ, spitting on the cross, and engaging in homosexual acts. These confessions, extracted under duress, were used to discredit the order. Pope Clement V, under pressure from Philip, agreed to dissolve the Knights Templar. He issued a papal bull in 1312. This bull officially disbanded the order. Their assets were transferred to other orders, primarily the Knights Hospitaller. The trials of the Knights Templar were a travesty of justice. The charges against them were largely fabricated. The confessions were obtained through torture and intimidation. The Templars were victims of a power struggle between Philip IV and the papacy. The dissolution of the Knights Templar sent shockwaves throughout Europe. Many refused to believe the accusations. The Templars had been respected for their piety and courage. However, Philip IV's propaganda campaign was effective. He painted them as heretics and enemies of the Church. The fate of individual Templars varied. Some were imprisoned, others were released after renouncing the order. The leaders of the order met a grim end. Jacques de Molay, the last Grand Master of the Templars, was burned at the stake in Paris in 1314. Despite their suppression, the Knights Templar left an indelible mark on history. Their military prowess and financial acumen were undeniable. Their sudden downfall, shrouded in controversy, only added to their mystique. The story of the Knights Templar is a cautionary tale. It demonstrates how power, greed, and political machinations can destroy even the most powerful institutions. It also highlights the dangers of religious fanaticism and the abuse of power. The abrupt demise of the Knights Templar has fueled centuries of speculation and conspiracy theories. Some believe the Templars possessed secret knowledge. This knowledge may have included the Holy Grail or other religious artifacts. Others claim they discovered secrets about Christianity that threatened the Church. The lack of conclusive evidence regarding their guilt or innocence has only deepened the mystery. Some historians believe Philip IV fabricated the charges to seize their wealth. Others suggest the Templars may have engaged in unorthodox practices, but not heresy. The Knights Templar continue to capture the imagination. Their story is one of bravery, betrayal, and intrigue. Their iconic symbol, the white mantle with the red cross, remains a potent reminder of their legacy. Despite their downfall, the Knights Templar left a lasting legacy. They played a pivotal role in the Crusades. They shaped the political and financial landscape of medieval Europe. Their story continues to fascinate and inspire. Their military innovations influenced warfare. Their use of heavy cavalry and combined arms tactics set a new standard for medieval armies. Their emphasis on discipline and organization distinguished them from other fighting forces. Their financial innovations, particularly their banking system, had a lasting impact. They facilitated international trade and finance. They laid the groundwork for modern banking practices. The Knights Templar remain a subject of fascination for historians, novelists, and conspiracy theorists alike. Their story is a reminder of the complexities of history and the enduring power of myth and legend.
Never forget what has happened here. but the